my name is Janae Antoinette and this is my first booktube video. I am such a romantasy girl. I love fall, I love magic, I love romance, I love yearning, enemies to lovers. Anything that is impossible, make it possible. That is the type of love that I like. That is the type of books that I like. I only like to read things that I want to enjoy. I don't like reading about hardship. I don't like reading about trauma. I want magic and fairies humping. My comfort show is Vampire Diaries. So Vampire Diaries, they have a series and I actually have the book. I read through book 4, so I need to read the rest of the series. But that's my favorite show ever. I love that show so much. I rewatch it like 2 times a year. So I love a series that kind of captures that. True Blood, Teen Wolf, the originals. Like, that is my vibe. I'm such a fall girl. My birthday is literally September 23rd. I'm the second day of fall. Like, I'm very fall coded. I love a nice cozy book that's gonna give me that warm magical feeling. So with all that being said, now you know my vibe. Let's get into my January recap. First up, we have Immortal Dark by Tejas Gurma. This book was very interesting. I'm not gonna lie, the female main character, the FMC, I did not like her until page 250 probably. Like, it took me a while to like her. And her friends, I still don't know if I like them, honestly. The only people that I really like in this story are the vampires. So this is about a girl who knows vampires exist. She is afraid of vampires. Her sister one day gets taken by a vampire. She knows it was a vampire that took them, but nobody believes her, obviously. So she goes to where the vampires are in this university. It's called Usla University. And she inherits a house that she had there. There's houses, and these families own these houses. Vampires are bound to these families and they can only drink from the family members. So it's like a secret society kind of thing. That's kind of how the world is set up. But she's looking for her sister. She knows the vampire of her house took her sister, so she goes there to try and find out what happens. It is a enemies to lovers, but you don't really get any action in this book. It's very slow enemies to lovers. Like, it's gonna be a really good second book. I can tell, like, I know it's really gonna heat up in that department. But this book was very slow in the beginning. I think it took me a while to get into it just because I didn't like the main character so much, but I did like the vampires, like I said. So main male character, Ceseños, he really pulled it through for me. And then I did end up liking her, like, towards the end of the book. I kind of understand where she's coming from, but I hate the whole trope of, like, I hate magic, I hate supernatural things. I hate that, like, because I would love to be in your shoes. I just feel like you're so ungrateful. And if I were you, like, I would be so happy. Like, I would be wanting to make friends with the vampires. Like, I don't want to be with the humans. And she thinks humans are like the bee's knees, and they're terrible. They're all bad people. They're all like, the humans in this book are not good. Like, all of the characters are very morally gray in this book. But the vampires who you expect to be morally gray are actually like super chill. But yeah, very interesting book. I give it like a 3.5. I did really like it, and I feel like the second book is gonna be really good. It's a trilogy, so I know 2 more books are coming. So I feel like the second book is gonna be really good. We're really gonna see that enemies to lovers kind of start to spice it up a little bit. I hope there's a little bit of spice, but this was really good. Also, she has a pronunciation video on TikTok. Go watch that because there were a lot of things in this book that I was mispronouncing. I hope she does a part 2 because there were still like some things that I know I'm probably saying wrong. Honestly, I just be making stuff up anyways. I've made up so many things. In A Court of Thorns and Roses and Akatar, I called Rhysand Ryerson. I still like Ryerson better. Sometimes I still call him that. And then Farah, I was calling her Fairy, which I kind of like better also. But I just make it up whatever I want. If I don't feel like looking up the name, I'll just say whatever I want and then go back in later and say it and then like actually figure out what it is. But a lot of times I don't do that. I can't remember if I rated the last book, but I give that one a 3.5. The next book that we have is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. This book was so good. I could not put it down. I finished it in like 3-4 days. It is a psychological thriller. It's about a girl who is fresh out of prison. She gets a job as a housemaid. She's living in their home. First red flag, I would never do that in my life. She's living in their home and she's living in this little attic upstairs, and she notices like things in this house are just not adding up. People are being really weird. Definitely takes you for a twist. Honestly, I was expecting a lot of the things that happened just because I've seen so many Lifetime movies. I've seen so many Criminal Minds and SVU episodes. Like, I know when a twist is coming. But there were still some things in this book that took me by surprise. I give it a 3.5 stars. Guys, if you want to read a lot, get a Kindle or get the Kindle Unlimited app on your iPad. I don't have a Kindle yet, but I have the Kindle Unlimited app. And I read so many books on this thing. I read so fast on it. I don't know why. The books that I read this month on this, I finished so quick. And then the books that I read in person, it took me like 2 weeks to finish each. But also the Kindle Unlimited subscription is like $14 or so. Books these days are expensive. They're like $10-$20 a pop. I read 3 books on this and spent like $15 on Kindle Unlimited. That would have been like $40-$50. So I'm not trying to promote Mr. Bezos, but he kind of snapped on this thing. If you read, this is really like a money saver. This is the next series that I read. This is the Mind series by S.T. Abbey. The first book is called The Risk and the second book is called Sidetrack. These were 130 pages each, somewhere around there. Super quick read. This is a dark romance, very morally gray female main character. The female main character, a serial, she is going around these people that did a very, very bad thing to her like 10 years ago, and she's plotted out these string of murders to basically avenge herself and someone else. These group of guys did something really horrible to them. It is very graphic. Check the triggers on this because it may stir up some feelings. It is very, honestly, if I were in her position, I would do the same exact thing. Cause maybe not the same exact thing, but I would crash out too. Like, this is her crashing out, but like in a very organized and sadistic way. And then the male main character is a FBI profiler. So it's basically an episode of Criminal Minds where she's the unsub. Very interesting dynamic. There's also like a subplot where he's finding another killer. Like, he's also looking for another unsub. Another little layer of plot of a little mystery with the case that's going on in the background. So it's really cute. I like it. Very quick read. Like I said, it took me probably like a day or 2 days to finish each book. Very, very quick read. It, like I said, check the triggers. It may not be for everybody, but if you like dark romance, give that a read. And the last book that I read for this month, Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros, the one, the only. This was the most anticipated book of the month. I feel like it did live up to the hype. I'm not gonna lie, the first 100 pages or so took me a while to get through. I don't know what it was. I was really honestly so lost in the beginning. I wish I would have did a reread of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame because I didn't know what was going on. There were so many plot points that I missed. I don't want to spoil anything in case you didn't read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, but if you haven't, go read it because those books are amazing. This book, I would probably give it 4 stars. It wasn't as good as the others, and I wanted more. Like, I wanted more from it. Like, the ending, I needed more. Like, I did not realize that was the last page when I was reading. I was like, ain't no way this is how this ends right now. You know? Like, I wanted more. But that's a good thing. You know, that's a good thing to want more instead of like, oh my God, I don't want to read this again. This was probably my favorite read of the month. But honestly, it was my most anticipated read of the month. I love this world. I love the dragons. Andarna, Taryn, Xaden. Love him. Violet, that's my girl. Riddick, I mess with. Rhiannon, we call her Rihanna. That's my January recap. Thank you for watching. If you guys read any of the books, leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought. And if you guys read books that are similar to the ones that I mentioned, please leave them in the comments below and let me know if you want me to read them and rate them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.